how decoupled is India from the rest of the world? Because that's also be the subject of our discussion with the economist, the last show of the thing. And in that context, if you can just very briefly, because I have many more questions to ask, I mean, how long US Federal Reserve will continue to be the big daddy? I mean, we want it or not, our eyes in on the FOMC meeting, your MPC, one or two members can dissent, but the collectively Reserve Bank of India and MPC is always, you use that Arjuna's eye, so that it's FOMC, what is FOMC doing, is it slowing down, etc. So is it, I mean, there is no escape from that?
No, you see, being the largest economy in the world, naturally what the US Fed does, it matters. It matters to everyone. And a large part of global trade is also dollar denominated. So therefore, what US Fed does is definitely important for everyone. But so far as our monetary policy making is concerned, so far as our other decisions are concerned, we are largely guided by our domestic inflation growth dynamics and several other international factors. Actions of US Fed are considered, are studied, but that's only one of the factors. It's not as if something the Fed does and we will have to sort of follow that line. And so therefore, we are primarily, and I have said it earlier also, our monetary policies are governed and driven primarily by our domestic growth inflation dynamics. Actions of US Fed do impact our domestic situation because, you know, like if, you know, there's a tightening, let's say the dollar becomes stronger, naturally our, the price of our imported, you know, we are a commodity importing country, naturally the price of our imports, the crude, petroleum crude and other imports will go up. But we are not, nobody is anybody's big daddy in the current world, you know, everybody has his own space. Okay. And I think the days of Big Daddy and all that thing is 19th century. It's no more the case, but yes, US is a major player. But let me say that primarily we are governed by our domestic, and I mean, when I say it, I really mean it.
Okay. Sir, you brought in the two words which I thought would avoid, inflation and growth. So tell me, I mean, 10 months in a row, Reserve Bank of India failed to contain inflation within the band, which is nothing new about, I mean, everybody knows, and it has, as we speak, it has gone within the band, etc. But historically, very often RBI's estimate of inflation is off the mark. Actual inflation is higher than RBI's estimate. So one could be we need to take a look at the composition of inflation, or other could be Reserve Bank of India needs to take a look at its assessment of inflation. Where are we?
No, we constantly keep on fine-tuning our models of inflation forecasting. But any forecast, whether it is of inflation or it is of growth, by any central bank, not just the Reserve Bank, is always conditional to so many factors. Now, if the conditions change, if the underlying conditions change or do not happen the way you had assumed, then naturally the numbers will be different. But the last few prints, I think our expectations both on inflation and growth, we are almost getting it to the second decimal, or the first decimal, if not the second.
All right, so that was the RBI Governor speaking at a BFSI Insight Summit, and very important and pertinent points being said by the RBI Governor when it comes to cryptocurrency. And some of the top highlights from that was that he's actually mentioned the fact that cryptocurrency has no underlying assets whatsoever. They are of the view that the cryptocurrency should be prohibited, and he also believes that the next financial crisis will come from private cryptocurrencies. He's also spoken about our monetary policy, saying that the monetary policy is guided by our inflation and growth dynamics. Also, he's mentioned that RBI constantly fine-tunes the inflation forecast model. So pertinent points coming in from the RBI Governor, and you will see them on the bottom of your screen through the course of the day and the show as well.